Moving on now, days after toppling Nicolas Maduro, the United States is making its intentions for Venezuela clearer. Now, the Trump administration says it will dictate decisions to country's interim leader and control its oil sales indefinitely. President Trump has already said that the U.S. will run Venezuela. White House has reiterated that it currently enjoys maximum leverage over the interim authorities in Venezuela and it intends to use it.
We obviously have maximum leverage over the interim authorities in Venezuela right now, and the president has made it very clear that this is a country within the United States, the Western Hemisphere, close by the United States, that is no longer going to be sending illegal drugs to the United States of America. It's no longer going to be sending and trafficking illegal people and criminal cartels to kill American citizens as they have in the past.
Trump has already announced an agreement for Venezuela to hand over between 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the United States for it to then sell. The US president has now added that under the deal, Venezuela is going to be purchasing only American-made products with the money they receive from the oil profits they receive. Now, Trump will on Friday meet executives from US oil companies whom he has said will invest in Venezuela's crumbling facilities. Venezuela's state oil firm said that it is discussing oil sales with the United States for the sale of volumes of oil under existing commercial frameworks. But Washington is looking at longer-term control. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has claimed that the administration is not just winging it and has a plan for Venezuela. According to Rubio, the three-step plan will begin with stabilizing the country, overseeing the country's recovery, and finally a transition.
Well, first of all, the bottom line is that there is a process now in place where we have tremendous control and leverage over what those interim authorities are doing and are able to do. But obviously this will be a process of transition. In the end, it will be up to the Venezuelan people to transform their country. We are prepared under the right conditions, using the leverage that we have, which includes the fact that they cannot move any oil unless we allow them to move it.
The White House has confirmed that the U.S. is selectively rolling back sanctions on Venezuela following the toppling of Nicolas Maduro, who was seized from his country by U.S. forces over the weekend. In Venezuela, thousands took to the streets in capital in a show of support and to demand the release of Maduro, the leader and his wife, Cilia Flores. Venezuela is currently undergoing 7 days of mourning for those killed during the raid to capture Maduro. At least one civilian and 55 Venezuelan and Cuban soldiers were killed during the operation. Venezuela's interim leader, Delcy Rodriguez, has defended plans to sell oil to Washington. Rodriguez admitted that the U.S. forces' attack to depose her predecessor put a stain on the country's relations, but added that it was not unusual or irregular to trade with the United States. Washington moved further to stamp its authority on Venezuela when it seized 2 oil tankers on Wednesday, including a Russian-linked vessel that it pursued from Venezuela to the North Atlantic. Moscow condemned the operation, but the White House insisted that the oil tanker had been deemed stateless after flying a false flag.